And hello everyone, it's time for today's farm and ranch news. And if you watch the report daily, you've seen that our commodity prices they've been going back and forth recently. And with us is our good friend Jim Bauer with Bauer Trading. And Jim, you want people to think on a different note when it comes to local versus international. We were just talking about that.
That's right, Lane. I think the change that I've seen in the past 40 years in this business is just how much the market is affected by news coming out of the global picture. You know, I come from a farm ranch family, and there's kind of a tendency to be local or regional in your thought process and pricing process. But with the markets the way they are today, you really have to look at the international picture. I'll give you an example. Right now, the soybean market has rallied about 50 cents in the past 10 days. That's due to international events, really nothing or very little to do with the United States. But you've got a situation where Brazil is having the real, their currency, rally sharply. You've seen the impeachment process with their president going on. We've got edible oils in great demand out of India and Asia. You've just got a backdrop of international factors that have pushed that price higher quickly. And that same thing could happen in cattle, it could happen in wheat. So try to fix your focus more on international than just local.
And with that, there's always those factors that come in from that international aspect, but weather. Farms and ranchers are the biggest gamblers out there, but with El Nino ending and La Nina coming in, what's that going to do to the marketplace?
Well, I've experienced those factors over the years, and we really have to watch an El Nino that fades very quickly and is replaced quickly by La Nina. The Climate Control Center basically has said that this process is being speeded up right now. So we expect the La Nina event to have a better chance than normal to come in during the month of July, which is a critical month in the corn belt, particularly the East Central and Central belt. So we're really going to have to watch that. I've got my staff on almost full alert to really make sure we pay attention to what that develops into or doesn't develop into.
That's true. And with that, the cattle market, let's quickly touch on that. What's that looking for depending on weather in the Midwest?
Well, it's been a very choppy market, very technically oriented, and the technicians have probably fared the best in this type of market. But I think from a fundamental standpoint, I'd like to see some improvement in box beef demand. We've seen a situation where the imports have kind of crept up a little bit higher than we would like, and our supplies are there. But I think most of that is already pretty much dialed in. So I'm personally looking for maybe a $2 to $5 bounce here shortly, especially when the East Coast finally gets to spring, summer. It's been relatively cold and damp on that East Coast and all the way to the Mississippi River. But we need those people out there in the grilling stations and really picking that demand base up. The market needs demand.
And lastly, you provide sell and defend strategies. We have a few seconds left here. What would you like to tell our listeners about that?
If they get to a profitable place and they'd like to sell cash and get it moved, get their bills paid, get things caught up, and then replace it with a paper strategy, they can talk to either myself or one of my staff. They'll be glad to formulate a risk management strategy that fits their own parameters, not just a blanket marketing program.
All right. Well, Jim, thank you for coming in today. I know our farmers and ranchers appreciate your knowledge and insight on that. Again, Jim Bauer with Bauer Trading. We'll be back right after this.